Hello collective, welcome into the video. I woke up this morning feeling a very strong urge to record a collective reading for my YouTube community. This is something that I haven't done in a very long time. I've either done pick a card readings or I've done each zodiac sign reading, but for some reason I felt very called to get up, record this video immediately. Don't even drink coffee. Don't even drink my protein shake in the morning. Just completely go raw right on into it. So this message is something that needs to get to you fast, it sounds like. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I was meditating on the energy before going ahead and recording, and it seems like this message has to come from the universe, right? This is a message that is a collective energy that I feel each one of us is kind of facing in our own way. It's not necessarily like each person is facing the exact same thing. There is an overall energy that they're facing together, but it's like individualized, right? So the energy that I'm feeling and that I'm picking up on is that there's an energy of some sort of inner being, some sort of inner talk that is coming up with inside yourself right now. This voice that is trying to be heard from within. And it can come across as like an energy of negative talk as well. Maybe this energy is kind of like you could hear it as more of like, oh man, I'm just putting myself down. Like I'm just constantly just degrading myself. I'm putting myself down. I'm not like being nice to myself. And maybe this is something that you have faced before, but this is something completely different. This isn't that same exact thing. And I think you're kind of like checking out on it because you think that it is, and you're just not listening to it. But this inner voice that is being brought up with inside you is something very important to listen to. So I've done pulled an oracle card as the overall energy for this reading. And this is a starry night acceptance. And we have this kind of transparent like image of this girl in the background. And there is a starry night sky as well. And this is kind of like darker imagery. But there is definitely that light blue touch that kind of makes it feel like it's something to do with communication, the throat chakra, things like that. Something is trying to communicate with you. Something that is trying to come up with inside yourself. It is who you are. This person is probably, thinking out loud to themselves, and they're just staring into a blank sky and thinking deeply in a very deep thought. And I feel like this energy is coming from the shadow for sure. That's why I think it's represented with a dark night sky and some darker imagery. I do think that it's coming up from the shadow. And I feel like there's some sort of command coming along with it as well. And this command makes it sound like it is like trying to break you down or trying to degrade you or make you feel like it's just you talking to yourself in a very harmful way, but I don't think it's that at all. And there's got to be some sort of acceptance to this, allowing it to come in, allowing it to be heard, because what can you receive from hearing what this has to say? We'll figure that out. But I would also like to clarify, okay, that didn't take very long at all. Six of Wands, clarifying this acceptance card. There is some sort of victory or success coming from power within inside yourself. It's almost like you are the key to the answers that you are looking to receive. You have the key within inside yourself, but if you're not willing to listen to your inner self to hear this, are you going to be able to know what those keys are, or what the best advice is for you, or what the answers are that are locked within inside yourself? You are the answer to your problem right now. You are the answer to the direction that you're trying to go. All the answers that you are looking for externally are with inside yourself right now, is internal. You've got to look towards yourself. You got to accept yourself and the inner voice that is trying to come up with inside you. Let's go ahead and dive into what is the overall energy right now of the collective and see where kind of like your headspace is at. Okay. I don't know if this is a good start or not, but yep. Here we go. So we've got the King of Wands, we got the Devil, and then we also have the Ten of Wands coming out here as well. This is your overall energy right now, collective. You are definitely in command. You're definitely trying to push really hard right now. You're trying to put a lot of effort into whatever it is that you're doing. And it can become very overwhelming. It can definitely become a burden to you. It can definitely become painful to you. There's an excessive heavy lifting going on right now in this Ten of Wands energy, where this person is hiking up a hill or some sort with a lot of logs on their back. And that's a heavy load to take on. There's a lot of things that you are excessively taking on that maybe isn't really right for you to take on. Maybe you feel like there is a lot of responsibility that you have that isn't really your responsibility. It seems to be that you have kind of tricked yourself into believing that there's got to be things done a certain way, or there's a lot of responsibilities that are your own, or like there's a certain path that you have to go down, or there's a certain amount of effort that you have to put in for things to work out. And it's really like reverse, almost. It's almost like if you were to let up, if you were to give less energy, but more in a productive way, or more in a healthier way, that you will get more done in less time than putting more effort and just trying to push so hard to get through that barrier. And you've wasted all that time and with nothing to show for. So this is showing to me that you have control, you have authority, you have a good grasp of where you're wanting to go. But for some reason, the vision's blurred. For some reason, the understanding of what you've got to do is kind of disturbed and is not in a great light right now. And it has a lot of control over you because there seems to be some outside pressures for some reason. There seems to be some things that are weighing on you. And these things are kind of making you go out of control. Is these things coming up with inside yourself to be known right now from your inner voice? Maybe. Maybe that could be it, but I haven't gotten into that part right now. But there is definitely some things that are weighing on you that are not of good light, and only you are the one allowing that weight to be placed onto you. Nobody else is placing that weight on you but yourself right now. And you've got to detach from that. You've got to let that weight go, because it's not something that is serving you right now. It's definitely something that is kind of holding you back or holding you down or driving you crazy at this point. So what is the major conflict right now for the collective energy here? What is the major conflict? We have the Eight of Wands. And we have the Three of Wands. You're trying to get somewhere fast. There's a lot of Wands energies here. Clearly, all Wands and one Devil. You're trying to go somewhere fast, and you're not willing to be patient enough to wait for the things to come to you to act on. Whether that's answers from the outside universe, or whether that's answers from the internal universe within inside yourself. You're moving too fast to be able to sit with yourself enough to see what these answers are. You come up with an idea and immediately start to go towards that idea. Don't give that idea room to breathe or to circulate with inside your mind to figure out whether it's good or whether it's bad. Just immediately dart towards the next possible success that you could find. These answers are ideas. These answers are thoughts. These answers are something that you are hoping to be an answer for and immediately go for. It's almost like, for example, a homeless person seeking food. Once they see something very, very minimal, they're immediately attacking it, immediately trying to grab it and eat it. But maybe it's not necessarily healthy. Maybe they don't know it's healthy or not. And maybe they don't know if it's poison or not. And they immediately grab it and they eat it, and they could potentially hurt themselves, or they could potentially, not be hungry anymore. But they don't know for certain. They're just trying. They're trying without discernment. They're trying without realization. They're trying without logic. They're trying without context. And I think that's the biggest picture here, is that you can't just aimlessly throw things at the wall and hoping that they're going to stick. That's not going to be the answer for you. So I think moving too fast, acting too fast is something that is happening right now. There's not that internal flow where, you're thinking and you're feeling. You're not connected between the two. You're not connected with that passion. For some reason, it's just a hunger effort, I guess you could say, to find that next available success for you. And the Three of Wands is just telling me that you're not sitting and waiting enough to receive that feedback, receive the universe's help or your own help at this point. Because it does seem like a lot of answers are trying to come up with inside you, but you're not sitting with yourself to realize that. You're not in that meditative state. You're not looking to access it, to kind of visualize what the battlefield is going to look like for you moving forward, or what the game plan is. There is no game plan. There's aimlessly going at things right now. And I think right now you just need to collectively breathe, and you need to sit with yourself and hear your internal being trying to come up with inside you. So what is the internal being trying to tell the collective right now? What is the internal? I'm hearing that it's going to be definitely different for every single one of you, because obviously you are all facing different challenges. But let's see if we can find a collective energy here. So the Nine of Swords, the Strength, and the Three of Cups are all things that your internal being is trying to tell you. That there is definitely a lot of stress that you're facing. And your shadow could be telling you, hey, look, you're not letting yourself feel these energies right. You're not letting yourself understand what you're going through. And there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and a lot of things that, aren't helpful. These are things that you have got to eliminate. These are things that you've got to heal. Maybe these are things that you've got to pay attention to, that needs your attention, so that way they can, handle themselves or resolve themselves, or things like that, or you resolve the energies, period. And the Three of Cups, I really do feel like there's definitely some promise here. There's definitely community here, where maybe you are relying on yourself a bit too much to handle a lot of things that maybe you feel responsible for. But it's not that case at this point. It almost seems like there's too much pride right now with inside yourself, and maybe, that's something that is trying to come up with inside yourself, saying, hey, you got too much pride. You need to let go and let community resolve your problems or issues or anything like that. Things can come together collectively if you allow yourself to kind of embrace, not individualizing yourself as much as you are, or maybe embracing the idea of connections or family or friends or community, whatever it may be. Don't let your pride think that you have to do everything on your own and be alone in the process. That you have support, that you have guides, that you have angels, that you have everything around you that can bless you if you're willing to accept it. Okay? Not everything's your responsibility. Not everything is meant to be done alone. There is a lot of good energy that can come with inside yourself by allowing your stresses, by allowing your anxieties, by allowing those responsibilities that are weighing on you very, very hardly to be dispersed with inside this community. Allow the community to take a lot more of these blows that you are taking together and handled together, because you can't just take it all on yourself. It's not meant for just one person to take this load. Not one person can take this load and get past it. You got to realize that there is help around you and that this help can lift you up and collectively raise your energies and vibrations. And that increases your passion, that increases your freedom, that increases the joy within your life to be able to, express yourself the way you want. And it might not be the people that, you immediately have close to you, but you can make connections that is your community, that is your people. And these could be new connections. Doesn't have to be, like I said, the people that are immediately around you that you're like, man, I don't like Timmy over there, or, oh, I don't like my dad, or whatever the case may be, like it could be somebody new. And these energies can be expressed. I think it's time for you to start making connections again and making, these energy exchanges with people that can bring in some new peace of mind for you and can bring in some new light with inside yourself or with inside of your overall energy. And this new light can shed a lot of things onto you, whether it's information, answers, whatever. Your internal being is looking out at people and is wanting to make these connections with people. Okay? So we're going to get into the advice. And what I have here is another oracle card. It is miracles for the advice. These connections that you can make with people, connections that these people can make with you, that can give you answers, that can give you advice, that can give you hope and happiness and just positive energies and just really understand you. Maybe you just need to be understood. Things like that. These things can cause a lot of miracles, okay? That's what you're aiming for, is you're looking for these miracles to happen. And I feel like these connections, after you stand down from your pride, after you stand down from your solitude and kind of just swallow your pride and move along into what is best for you, even if it's past your personality, like I said, I think it can create a lot of miracles for you, can create a lot of transformation, and can also lead you to something very beautiful. Those waterfalls are super beautiful, and top it off with a rainbow, like that's amazing. But what is the overall advice for the collective here? 2 cards. Eight of Swords and the Fool. So the collective energy, I feel like, for the advice here is that you are surrounded by a lot of what you have designed yourself to be surrounded by. Okay? There's some energies that maybe you've placed over there, placed over here, placed up here, you placed down here. You're all surrounded by certain energies that have been manifested by the struggles that you have gone through, and you are kind of trapped within inside that bubble. Mentally. Not physically, mentally. And the advice here is that you've got to get out of this entrapped bubble every once in a while. or more often than not. You've got to get out. You've got to start a new journey somewhere else. Maybe not give up on what you're trying to pursue, but you've got to kind of release these energies. You've got to escape these energies from time to time and start fresh with something, whether it's a new friend or a new relationship or, going to a community event or going to a concert or starting up a hobby or whatever the case may be. Maybe even going to the coffee shop every day. I don't know what would be good for you. But I do know starting something new that can get you to escape outside of this entrapped bubble will allow you to gain perspective, will allow you to gain answers and clarity on your bubble that you're handling, and allow you to discern better. It will allow you to arrange better, process better, and look towards yourself more for answers than just begging the universe to come save you. And I think you'll be able to understand where you have to go. And like I said, there's just going to be a lot of positive energies that can influence your life and arrange good energies in your life to help you succeed more and allow these miracles to come to you. Because if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not getting out into the public eye or just doing a lot more better things for yourself, whether it's, like I said, going to a coffee shop or maybe even going to the gym, taking care of your health, things like that, these miracles will not be able to come to you unless you're out there and doing things in a public manner kind of deal. Because right now I just feel like you're entrapped in your daily struggle, in your daily bubble, in the bubble that's around you. You got to get away from that. You got to be able to break free from that every once in a while to get out of the monotony and all those harmful things. Because if you keep allowing this energy to be repetitive and you keep denying yourself from listening to yourself, because it's not negative talk at this point. You've went past that. Like you've handled that in the past. Not negative talk anymore. It's realistic talk. You're needing to hear something real, and yourself is trying to speak that out to you. Like, hey, listen, like you got to do something different here. You got to listen. So don't get it confused. Allow yourself to, and I think the reason why you are potentially confused with the voice is the monotony. I think it's just the same thing over and over again. But realistically, you've got to get out of that bubble so you can see what that bubble's really about from the outside perspective instead of just seeing it from the inner perspective. But that's basically what I have for you. Hopefully all this makes sense for you, collective. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. Like I said, I mainly do zodiac sign readings, so if you want to check out your zodiac sign, feel free to do so. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. And if you have a question stemming off this reading that you would like answers for, feel free to reach out for a private reading. I have a link down below in the description. I love you all so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.